1587. An entire colony vanishes. 117 people, men, women, children, gone, no bodies, no blood. No signs of struggle, just one word carved into a tree. Croatoan. And when the rescue party finally arrives 3 years late, they find something worse than death. Evidence that the colonists were still alive, watching, hiding, and they didn't want to be found. This is Roanoke Island, North Carolina, August 18th, 1590. John White returns to the colony he left 3 years ago. He's the governor. Left in 1587 to get supplies from England. Promised to return in 3 months. War with Spain delayed him. 3 years late, he expects chaos, disease, maybe hostility. What he finds is silence. The settlement is empty. Houses standing. Furniture inside. Possessions neatly arranged. The palisade fort? Dismantled. Not destroyed. Taken apart. Methodically. Someone planned this. White searches for his family. His daughter Eleanor. His granddaughter Virginia Dare. First English child born in the Americas. August 18th, 1587. Exactly 3 years ago today, she'd be 3 now. He finds her cradle. Empty. Clean. And on a tree near the fort carved 5 inches deep. Croatoan. White knows that word. Croatoan Island, 50 miles south. Home to a friendly native tribe, the Croatoans. Before he left in 1587, White told the colonists, "If you relocate, carve your destination. If you're in danger, carve a cross above it." The tree says Croatoan, no cross, meaning they left willingly. White orders his ship south to Croatoan Island. Storm hits, ship damaged. Crew refuses, too dangerous. White begs, "My family is there." Captain says no. They sail back to England. John White never returns, dies 1593, never knowing what happened, not all of it, but enough. Because 20 years later, in 1607, Jamestown colonists arrive. 60 miles north of Roanoke, they meet Powhatan tribe members, ask about earlier English settlers. The Powhatans say yes. Europeans living among the Croatoans, blonde children, blue eyes, speaking broken English. Jamestown sends scouts. The scouts never return. And when Jamestown tries again in 1609, the Croatoans are gone, vanished. The entire tribe relocated inland, away from the coast, away from Europeans, taking their secrets with them. Meet John White, age 53, artist, mapmaker, governor of the Roanoke Colony, 1587. England funds a settlement. New World. America, build a colony, establish trade, beat Spain. White is chosen to lead 117 colonists, families, farmers, craftsmen. They land July 22nd, 1587. Roanoke Island. Beautiful. Fertile. Abandoned fort from a previous failed colony. 1585. They rebuild it. August 18th, 1587. Virginia Dare born. White's granddaughter, first English child in America. Hope. Future. But supplies are low. Winter's coming. White decides to sail back to England, get more resources, food, tools, medicine. He leaves August 27th, 1587, 9 days after Virginia's birth. Promises 3 months. The colonists agree. Carve Croaton if you leave. Add a cross if in danger. Simple. White reaches England November 1587. Perfect timing. Except England's at war. Spain, the Armada. 1588. Every ship commandeered. Military use only. White begs. "I have a colony. A baby granddaughter. They're waiting. Nobody cares." War takes priority. 1588 passes. 1589 passes. Finally, 1590. War ends. White gets a ship. Sets sail. March 1590. Arrives Roanoke, August 18th, 1590. 3 years late. To the day. The colony is deserted. No bodies. No graves. No signs of violence. But strange details. The houses? Intact. Roofs solid. Doors closed. Inside, tables set. Plates arranged. Like they left mid-meal. White finds armor. Rusted. Left behind. Iron tools. Corroded. Heavy items they couldn't carry. But lightweight valuables? Gone. Jewelry. Coins. Small weapons? Taken. White searches the fort. Finds something odd. The palisade logs? Removed. Not burned, not knocked down, unscrewed. Stacked neatly nearby. Someone took the fort apart. Carefully. Deliberately. Like they didn't need it anymore. Or didn't want it found. And on the tree, Croatoan. All capitals. Deep cuts. Fresh, recent. Within the year, White assumes they went to Croatoan Island. The tribe there was friendly. Chief Manteo, baptized Christian, 1587. Spoke English, helped the colonists. Logical refuge, White prepares to sail south. But his crew is spooked. Empty colony. No explanation. Strange carvings. They want to leave. White argues, offers money, double pay. Captain refuses. Storm's coming. Too risky. They leave. White protests. Physically tries to stop them. Crew restrains him. They sail to England. If you want to know what the 1607 Jamestown scouts found when they reached the Croatoan village, blonde-haired children speaking English, wearing European clothes, but refusing to identify themselves, and how one girl had a locket with Eleanor Dare's initials, but when asked her name, she just pointed inland and whispered, "We were told to forget." Hit follow, because that locket is in the Smithsonian. Catalog number 19520-371, and the Smithsonian won't display it, or explain why. But Roanoke wasn't the first unsolved disappearance. 1278, Germany, Amelin, June 26th. 130 children vanish. The town records it. Stained glass window in the church. Inscription. In the year 1284, on the day of John and Paul, the 26th of June, 130 children born in Hamelin were seduced by a piper and lost at the Calvary near the Coppin. Seduced. Not kidnapped. Seduced, the Pied Piper legend. But here's the real version. 1284. Hamelin suffers overpopulation. Resources strained. 130 teenagers, ages 12 to 17, recruited by a traveling merchant, promised work, land, opportunity, Eastern Europe, Poland, settling new territories. The teens leave, willingly, their parents consent. Economic migration, but they never send word, never return. Hamelin records them as lost, blames the merchant, the piper, turns it into a cautionary tale. Don't trust strangers. Except in 1961, researchers find records. Polish archives. A settlement founded 1285. Town called Posen, modern-day Poznan. Founders list includes 73 German surnames. From Hamelin, the children didn't vanish, they emigrated, started new lives, and never looked back. But before Hamelin, 79 AD, Pompeii, Mount Vesuvius erupts, buries the city. 2,000 bodies recovered. But Pompeii had a population of 20,000. Where are the other 18,000? Archaeologists assumed they escaped, fled before the eruption, except we have records. Pliny the Younger, eyewitness, describes Pompeii during the eruption, says the city was full, crowded, panicked, no mass evacuation. So where did 18,000 people go? Ground-penetrating radar. Scan the surrounding area. Archaeologists find cavities, underground, tunnels, miles of them, sealed by pyroclastic flow. Inside, remains, thousands, huddled together. They didn't flee the eruption, they fled into the earth, trying to escape the heat, the ash, got trapped, suffocated, buried alive. 18,000 people, solved after 2,000 years. But Roanoke? Still unsolved, sort of, because we have clues. 1937. Archaeologists excavate Croatoan Island, find European artifacts. Ring, rapier hilt, writing slate, dated 1580s, proving Europeans lived there. 1998, DNA testing, Croatoan descendants, modern Lumbee tribe. North Carolina, results show European ancestry. 1500s, genetic markers matching English colonists. Roanoke survivors interbred with Croatoans. 2012, researchers analyzed John White's map. Hidden markings, invisible ink, revealed with imaging technology. 2 locations marked. Inland, 50 miles west. Sites labeled fort. Ground surveys find evidence. Elizabethan pottery, iron nails. 1580s, The colonists didn't just go to Croatoan. They split up. 2 groups, one to the island, one inland, diversifying, surviving. But here's the mystery. Why didn't they contact Jamestown, 1607? 20 years later, English colonists arrive. Close enough. The Roanoke survivors were still alive. We know this. Powhatan witnesses, blonde children, English speakers. They knew Jamestown existed. Europeans, countrymen, potential rescue. So why hide? 1. They assimilated, married into tribes, had families, didn't want to leave. 2. They feared punishment, abandoned the colony, broke their charter. Treason. 3. They were prisoners, held by hostile tribes, couldn't escape. 4. They chose isolation, preferred native life, rejected European society. Or 5. The disturbing one. They were told to hide by the Croatoans because Europeans brought disease, violence, conquest. And the Croatoans learned, saw what happened to other tribes, saw Jamestown's arrival, the expansion, the wars, and they made a choice. Hide the Europeans, erase the evidence, pretend Roanoke never happened, protect their people. Linguistic analysis. Lumbee tribe language. Researchers find 41 Elizabethan English words embedded in their dialect. Haint for ghost, Momic for mess, Gom for fool. Words nobody uses anymore, except in 1580s England and modern Lumbee, oral tradition passed down from Roanoke survivors. So we know what happened, sort of. The colonists relocated, split into groups, joined the Croatoans, assimilated, survived, had children, grandchildren, descendants alive today. Lumbee tribe, 55,000 members. North Carolina. Genetic, linguistic, archaeological evidence. Roanoke isn't unsolved. It's just uncomfortable. Because the answer isn't mysterious. It's simple. They left, chose a different life, abandoned England. And we don't like that answer. We want tragedy, mystery, horror. Not choice. Not agency. Not the idea that 117 English colonists looked at Europe and said, "No thanks." John White died never knowing. 1593. Heartbroken. But his granddaughter, Virginia Dare, she probably lived into her 60s, raised Lumbee, spoke Croatoan, had children, died surrounded by family. Just not English family. And that's the real mystery. Not where they went, but why we can't accept that they wanted to go. Every missing person case you've heard of, Amelia Earhart, D.B. Cooper, Jimmy Hoffa, all of them echo Roanoke, vanished without explanation. And we obsess, we theorize, we investigate, because we need answers. We need closure. But sometimes people disappear because they want to, and that's the most unsettling answer of all. But Roanoke wasn't the last colony to vanish. 1814. Antarctica. A French expedition. 47 men. Established a research station. Ross Ice Shelf. 1816. Supply ship arrives. The station is empty. Supplies untouched. Equipment functioning. Notes indicate they left to explore inland 2 weeks prior. Expected return. But they never came back. Search parties found tracks leading into the ice. Then nothing. 47 men. Gone. That story, it's in my Shadow Chronicles. And unlike Roanoke, there's no DNA, no descendants, just ice. Forever. Thanks for watching. And next time someone goes missing, remember, sometimes they're not lost. Sometimes they just don't want to be found.